Cardano continues to make a run for it, up over 100% in the last couple of weeks. What is in store for Cardano price in the short term and also in the long term? What's up, everyone? Welcome to Crypto Capital Venture. Hit that like, hit that subscribe on the way in. Let's jump into this Cardano video. This is Cardano zoomed out in the charts. We've been tracking this chart for so long. Look at it. I mean, look at this just kind of bouncing from that swing low back in March, February area, and it's just been making moves. I want to break down the macro and micro in this video to really give you an idea of the volatility that is ahead of us, but it is also the path to all-time high and beyond. So I want to start here. This is a quick clip from July of 2020. And now we can start looking at these areas for, potential support even in a pullback scenario. So currently right around 9.5 cents for Cardano consolidate. Now this is me talking in real time as you watch this video. If we look at what Cardano was doing, it was 12 cents at that time. And we were talking about consolidation along the 9-cent area. And this is extremely important to the full context of this video that I'm recording right now. So let's go look at this. This was in July. This was like middle of July, and right around on this chart now, and look how it's progressed since then. But this was right around here. Cardano right around here. And look what it did eventually. It consolidated right along that 9-cent area, that yellow line that I was charting in that chart. The reason why that is so important is because if you're waiting for all-time highs, if you're waiting for Cardano to continue making bullish moves, you have to be ready for moves like that. And that move ultimately was a 17 cent, actually all the way down to a 7-cent Cardano briefly before consolidating around that 9-cent area that we talked about. And, ultimately it's a 40-50% dip for Cardano. And it was bullish. It was long-term bullish. And that's what we were discussing in that video, to be prepared for that. And so here I am today again, just reminding you so that you have this mental strength, right? Ahead in these markets ahead, to endure these things, because this will continue happening. So right now, Cardano making moves, 34 cents as I do this video, and we're going to talk about continued upside, but just look at how this has played out. And here's a clip from January 3rd, just a couple weeks ago. This rising wedge that Cardano is right now testing the upper trend line. So 2 50-cent target, 50-cent target out of that wedge, 50-cent target out of that falling channel. Now, so that was at 20 cents, and there's the wedge, there's the breakouts. Cardano on its way. Now let me zoom out a little bit on this daily chart. You can see now the 50-cent target is up here, and I think I mentioned in a previous video, probably in the last month or so, what I'm really intrigued by, and let me take another line here so we can chart this. I'm really intrigued by this 40-cent area. Even maybe more so than the 50-cent area. And actually, I already have the 40-cent charted. What am I doing? So let me chart the 50-cent line. So the 40 cent is there, and if we zoom out on this daily chart, the reason why I'm very intrigued with that area is, we're always talking about $1.33. We want to get there. The most bullish step on the way there is Cardano trading consistently above this area. Now that is the first lower high as Cardano just tanked into the bear market, and Cardano trading less than 2 pennies at one point. And at that time, Cardano trading at 40 cents. So for Cardano to make a comeback and to break that lower high, truly, I think, in the macro scheme of things, represents and illustrates the reversal, right? And truly entering that bull market for Cardano, 40-cent area. And you can actually see, if we zoom in on this daily chart, we got that breakout of that rising wedge that we've been tracking. 50 cent is the target, but you can just see just below, and let me zoom in here a little bit so you can see, just below, we're kind of getting a little bit of resistance below that 40-cent area. So it's going to be really interesting to see how Cardano interacts with that 40-cent area up to that 50-cent area. It's straight ahead. The question that I have right now on this daily chart is Cardano kind of like, just taking a consolidation break, right? After breaking out of this rising wedge before continuation to the upside to break through that 40 cent area. Now, zooming out, we always talk about this in terms of patterns. Always anticipate after a nice breakout, right? A revisit to a trend line. And this is what I'm talking about. This is exactly why I showed you a clip of us talking about a consolidation at 9 cents when we're trading at 12 cents, right? The reason I'm showing that to you is because I want you to be prepared for these moves, because for me personally, it's how I just stay mentally non-emotional, right? Because these things happen. Technically, it makes sense for them to happen, so it's not something to typically freak out about. So right now, that's all the way down here in the 21 cent area. Are cryptos going to crash? Is Bitcoin getting ready to just see a consolidation over a month? It's possible, right? Now, we're in a really bullish atmosphere right now, everybody. If this continues, we might not get a dip like this, but you need to be prepared for something like that, and that's what we'd be looking at, a throwback simply to that area. Now, some would argue maybe this wick right here on this daily chart that you see going down to around 23 cents, maybe that could have been the throwback. And these dips are being bought up so quickly, and it's time for continuation to the upside. With where we are right now, let's kind of go even more micro here from the daily to the 6 hour. I'm kind of just looking, the case for continuation in the very short term, and I'm talking like this weekend, the beginning of this upcoming week, there's kind of this inverse head and shoulders looking pattern on the 6 hour. You can see it right here. And Cardano currently breaking out of that neckline in these last 2 6-hour candles or so. That neckline's right now sitting around 32 cents or so in the short term. Wouldn't be surprised if it just trickles down to that area for continuation to the upside, or if it simply continues to the upside. 45-cent target on this micro time frame. Interestingly enough, right between that 40-cent area, right, that we were just talking about, and the 50-cent target. How's Cardano going to interact here if it does continue to the upside to this inverse head and shoulders target? It's what I'm watching, but here we are. I know there's a ton of people that are like, I'll buy a dip if a dip comes, and it truly, everybody, we've been tracking crypto for a while. If cryptos stall out, or if there's one piece of just, bad news or something, the case for Cardano just to come all the way down, 30-40% dip to that trend line that we just talked about, or a throwback to that upper trend line in the rising wedge, it's there. So that could be a buy the dip opportunity in the middle of a bull market, but I'm not quite sure we're going to get it. So I just want to throw that out there. This is the data I see on the screen. Next target in the very short term, 45 cents. And, we'll simultaneously be breaking that 40-cent area and on our way, everybody, to the 50-cent target that we've been talking about forever. Cardano in the summer broke this upper trend line, and it's just been in play for a while. And this is how it's all transpired. And it's so cool just to look at that chart and then look at this video. We didn't know what was going to happen, right? We didn't know what was going to happen right here, all in this area. And this is what it looks like. Really cool. I want to point out Ethereum. I have no emotional ties to any cryptocurrency, right? I have no problems with Ethereum, but I want to point out we should use Ethereum, right? Cardano wasn't trading as Bitcoin entered that last bull market, right? And we're looking right around here. This is kind of, if we're looking at Bitcoin chart, this is around when Bitcoin entered the bull market, and you can see Ethereum just obviously followed and just did ridiculous. This is Cardano's first time in a full cycle bull market, and we get some hints of potentially what it could look like on a chart, and we can use Ethereum. I think it's a really good idea to kind of just get a visual to anticipate, right? And along the way, here's these big moves that could happen, right? So be prepared for those things. I wanted to throw that out there. I think it's a good visual, a nice little data point. It doesn't predict anything, but it definitely helps us become mentally prepared. So let's see what Cardano can do in the very short term. 45-cent target, 50 cent obviously is just so much in play right now. One more move just to give you an idea what that looks like. Price range wise, we're looking at a move of 30% to 50% continuation for Cardano to hit these targets. Let's see what happens. Wanted to give you an update. I know there's a lot of people asking me, so here it is. Hit that subscribe. If you're not a subscriber, hit that like button. I appreciate you. Have an awesome day. God bless.